Hello my friends and welcome to this new section of the Machine Learning Level 3 course on how to build an automated machine learning pipeline on Lambda, which is another service of AWS, a compute service that is serverless, I will explain what it means, and which also responds to events. Alright, so here is what we're going to build. Let's see the pipeline in the different steps. First, some data is loaded into S3. So S3 is the storage service of AWS. Of course, we used it before in SageMaker. It means simple storage service. Then Lambda, that compute AWS service, will read the data in S3 as the data comes in. Then Lambda will train the machine learning model and we will build the model together. We will code everything together. It will be a simple ensemble model. It will actually be a random forest model, right? It's an ensemble tree. So that will be the training automatically happening as some data is coming in into S3 and then read by Lambda. And then once the model is trained, Lambda will save the new model in S3 in actually a separate bucket. We will understand why later. And then, optionally, as soon as we have some new data points, without the target of course, well, Lambda will make the prediction, and that will be the inference mode. And finally, Lambda will send email notifications as soon as the model is retrained, okay? Meaning as soon as some new data comes into S3 and the model is retrained. Alright, so that's why this part here is the automated part. All this process here is completely automated, and we will create that together from scratch step by coding everything in Lambda. You will see that because Lambda is a compute service, you can actually code some programs in different languages, and actually we will choose to code it in Python. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. I hope you're excited. I'm super excited to start this with you. And so now let's go back to the console. And before we start with everything, before we start setting up everything, let's have a quick look at the cost that was incurred so far, from using SageMaker, Canvas, and Studio Classic. And well, we are doing pretty good. Look at the total cost incurred so far, $11.98. You might even have less than that because I chose to train the full ensemble model. Maybe you only used Canvas, in which case you probably have less here. But there you go. We are even lower than the cost I had estimated. Remember, I told you around $15, maybe maximum $20. And no, we are much less than that. And indeed, most of the cost is coming from SageMaker. That's the big blue bar here at $10.89. And then we have some very, very few charges coming from S3. Okay, and of course, because we set up that billing alarm with a threshold of $10, well, that's exactly the email I just got. My billing alarm just rang, and indeed, if we open the email, it is telling me that the alarm limit I set was $10, and the total estimated charges accrued for this billing period are currently of $11.99. Okay, so you probably got the same email. But there you go, my point is that we're doing really, really good, and so we can start this new section building the automated machine learning pipeline with a complete peace of mind, because besides, Lambda will cost us very, very low money. Actually, you will see it will just be a few extra cents. And why is that? That's for a very important reason that you must know already about Lambda, which is that Lambda is a serverless compute service. So let me explain what serverless means. That means that in order to build our machine learning pipeline, we won't right from the start, launch a compute instance like in EC2, the main compute service of AWS, and then keep our compute instance all along until we're done with the pipeline. No, what will happen is that we will create that pipeline without any server, but just during the time we run the code to run the pipeline, well, a server will be provided to us, but just during the few seconds, basically during the time the model is being retrained, okay? Just during the time the code runs to retrain the model and then, of course, to make some predictions, well, we will get a server for those few seconds, okay? And that is why Lambda is so cost effective, because instead of, renting a server during the whole time of the implementation and then while running it, well, we only get it and use it while we run the code, okay? So that's exactly what serverless means. It's extremely powerful and cost effective. And this is, of course, one of the great things of cloud computing, because indeed, you only pay for what you use and you're only billed by the second.
Now make sure to check out these videos on the right or the full course in the description to continue your learning, and I look forward to seeing you there.